The crown looks glorious from a distance. Gold, jewels, authority. But place it on your head, and it becomes heavy. Very heavy. Tonight, we step inside the mind of a Chalukya king. Not the legend carved in stone, not the name praised in poetry, but the human being behind the crown. The weight of the morning. Before sunrise, the palace is silent. Oil lamps flicker against carved pillars. The king is already awake. He does not sleep deeply, because kings do not have the luxury of peace. His first thought is not glory, it is responsibility. Borders must be guarded, taxes must be collected fairly, feudatories must remain loyal, temples must be funded, and rivals must be watched. Every sunrise brings decisions, and every decision affects thousands of lives. Power is not freedom. To outsiders, a king appears all-powerful, but true power is a cage. He cannot speak carelessly. He cannot trust easily. He cannot show weakness. A single sign of doubt may encourage rebellion. A single unfair judgment may create unrest. A single failed campaign may destroy legacy. The Chalukya king ruled vast territories across the Deccan, but he was also trapped by expectation. He must be brave. He must be wise. He must be just. He must win. Always. The fear of rebellion. In the Chalukya system, feudatories governed regions. They were powerful. They commanded their own troops. Their loyalty was essential. But loyalty is fragile. A provincial ruler who grows too ambitious becomes dangerous. So the king must balance trust and surveillance. Reward, but not over-empower. Control, but not suffocate. If he miscalculates, rebellion erupts. History had already shown this pattern. The rise of the Rashtrakutas, the emergence of the Hoysalas, the assertion of the Kakatiyas, all began as subordinate powers. Every Chalukya king knew this truth. Today's ally can become tomorrow's conqueror. That knowledge creates constant tension. The battlefield mind. War is not only about swords, it is about doubt. Before marching south against the Pallavas, before defending against the Cholas, the king must calculate risks. How many troops? How long can supplies last? Will monsoon rains interrupt movement? Will allies betray at the critical moment? If he wins, he becomes immortal in inscriptions. If he loses, his capital may burn. The fall of Badami under Pallava attack was not just military defeat, it was psychological shock. Every later king carried that memory, the fear of repeating history. Victory brings glory, defeat brings collapse. There is no middle ground. The burden of justice. Beyond war lies governance, disputes over land, conflicts between merchants, religious disagreements. The king must appear as the fountain of justice. His court is a stage. Ministers present cases. Brahmins advise according to Dharma. Local leaders argue their claims. The king listens, but his judgment is not only moral, it is strategic. Favoring one group may upset another. Denying a temple grant may reduce religious support. Approving excessive taxation may anger farmers. Justice must balance ethics and politics, and that balance is exhausting. Religion and personal belief. Many Chalukya kings were devoted to Shiva. Some supported Vishnu temples. Others patronized Jain institutions. But what did the king truly believe in private? Did he see himself as chosen by divine will? Did he fear divine punishment? Temples were political, but devotion could be personal. Imagine a king standing alone in a temple at night,
No ministers, no soldiers, just silence. In that moment, he is not ruler of the Deccan. He is a man asking for strength, because even kings fear uncertainty. Religion gave psychological stability. It gave meaning to power. It justified authority. And perhaps it gave comfort. The pressure of legacy. Every Chalukya king inherited not only a throne, but history. Pulakesin II stopped Harsha. Vikramaditya VI created a golden age. These names set standards. A new king must ask himself, will I match them? Will I surpass them? Or will I be remembered as the weak link? Legacy is a silent competitor. You cannot defeat it. You can only try to live up to it. That pressure shapes decisions. Sometimes it drives ambition. Sometimes it creates insecurity. Sometimes it leads to reckless wars to prove strength. The desire to be remembered can be dangerous. Family and suspicion. The palace is not always safe. Brothers may compete. Uncles may conspire. Sons may be impatient. History already witnessed internal conflicts in the Chalukya line. Succession was not always smooth. The king must love his family, but also monitor them. He must prepare an heir, but avoid empowering a rival. He must reward loyalty, but prevent overconfidence. Even at royal banquets, smiles may hide strategy. Trust becomes rare, and isolation grows. The human side of authority. Despite all this, the king is human. He feels pride when temples are completed. He feels satisfaction when trade prospers. He feels anger at betrayal. He feels fear before uncertain battles. He feels grief at the death of allies. But history rarely records emotion. It records outcomes. Stone inscriptions speak of victory, not anxiety. They declare strength, not doubt. Yet behind every inscription praising invincibility was a ruler who understood how fragile power truly is. The final reflection. At the end of his reign, an aging Chalukya king might stand on a palace balcony, looking over the capital, hearing distant temple bells, watching merchants close markets, seeing soldiers patrol walls. He might ask himself, did I protect the empire? Did I strengthen it? Will it survive me? Because no king rules forever, and every reign ends. Some end in glory, some in decline, but all end. The Chalukya kings were not gods. They were leaders navigating impossible expectations. They balanced ambition with caution, faith with politics, strength with diplomacy. And in doing so, they shaped centuries of Deccan history. The ultimate truth about power. Power is not just domination, it is responsibility. It is sleepless nights. It is calculated risks. It is the constant awareness that one mistake can undo generations of work. The Chalukya kings were powerful, but they were also vulnerable. That vulnerability makes them human, and that humanity makes their story timeless. Episode end, the final grand question. We have explored the empire from every angle: war, architecture, religion, economy, legacy, psychology. Now one final exploration remains. Next episode, if the Chalukyas had never fallen, an alternate history of the Deccan.